Hello beer tubers and welcome to another beer review. With me, Peter, the master of hoppets, today looking at a couple of beers. It's 2 for 1. I guess it's a comparison video, this one, that I thought could be fun to make because Mikkeller's web shop just got a new collab in between Mikkeller San Diego and AleSmith. So this is part of Mikkeller's collab series at Mikkeller San Diego. This collaboration beer was made with AleSmith, and this is none other than the Mikkeller San Diego and AleSmith Hazesmith IPA. So this is interesting because, as you probably know, Mikkeller San Diego is based in AleSmith's old brewery. So they even pay tribute to it with their logo because there's an animal on it. And they did a couple collaborations also before they started. But this one sounded really interesting. It's about 3 weeks old right now, so dead fresh. I think this will be the freshest I ever try something from AleSmith. Well, AleSmith. No, I was at the brewery and drank their IPA straight from tap. What am I talking about? Back in 2012. But I thought this would be fun because this is a New Englandified Henry Hazesmith version of the AleSmith IPA. So AleSmith IPA, I got a can here. Iconic West Coast IPA. Was for a long time on Rate Beer the highest rated American IPA in the world. And I loved it when I tried it back in the day. Back in the day, you couldn't get it in Denmark, but a subscriber of mine was kind enough to send it in a bomber. I loved it. It blew my mind back then. Great West Coast IPA. So, problem is that this is 3 weeks old. This is 9 months old. It's not a fair comparison, but I couldn't do it any other way because I don't have access to AleSmith beers super fresh. It's only lucky that we get the access to the Mikkeller San Diego beers super fresh because Mikkeller is based in Copenhagen and he ships in fresh cans every 2 weeks, I think it is, from their limited releases. But this was canned back in October last year, so 9 months. Way, way, way too old for an IPA, but that was what we could do and deal with. So I still wanted to get it. It's in a can, so hopefully it held up a bit more because I thought it'd be fun to try the original side-by-side with the hazified version of the beer. So 7.25% alcohol on the San Diego style IPA. I was about to say this AleSmith IPA, and the 7.2% on the Henry Hazesmith. So pretty much the same ABV. And I love this. Is one of the best artwork so far, I think, on Mikkeller San Diego beer. I love that kind of green logo that refers back to the original beer, and then the silver kind of metallic whatever look. It looks really good with the steam coming up from the glass. Great looking can. But this will be fun because the beer's quite different. So I think we should start off with the AleSmith IPA. Well, we can compare the colors now just for fun. Well, the AleSmith IPA poured a really, well, actually quite hazy, very awesome amber. Like, really, like, if you think like rust orange or something, this is dead on to that color. Like, this is such an amazing, radiant orange color. It looks great in the glass, and I think it's more chill haze than, you know, hop and yeast haze and whatnot. But I think I remember that beer as being a bit hazy as well. And it has a quite nice white head to it. Whereas the Mikkeller San Diego is Merc for months, haze for days. They look so different. It's got a bit of that orange thing to it, like deep orange, the Mikkeller San Diego, but it's light. I wonder if they changed the malt bill. I think maybe the hops are the same then, or something like that, and this is New Englandified with less malts. I'm not entirely sure, because this is more of this super hazy orange color. I mean, this looks like hop. Real craft beer calls it hop soup or something like that. I mean, it's this super murky kind of chowder. I've heard people call it New England clam chowder as well, or turkey gravy. It's that kind of color, but it looks really nice, almost like yogurty. And it's got this very similar white head, but not as fluffy maybe. Oh, well, it's pretty much the same. But I think we should start out with the AleSmith IPA and check how it is. 9 months of age, though. Not too good, but let's check it out. Oh, yeah. Oh, this suffered so bad. Seriously. Oh, this is so sad. This is not how I remember this beer. This is just abundance of tea leaf and grassy grapefruit, pithy, super sweet malt as well. Yeah, this is so sweet malty. Like caramel, toffee. For sure, toffee like candy. And then there's like candy, hop, it's that like resiny, syrupy, piney note as well. This age didn't do it well because it's fresh. This is a great West Coast IPA. Let's try it anyways. Cheers, guys. Flavor holds up better than the nose for 9 months. It's not a horrible beer, but there's a lot of malt. And I had the Aroma Brewing. You're probably going to see this before, maybe, collab series. It reminds me almost of the collab they did with Bagby, the West Coast style, San Diego style old school IPA they did. It's got the same kind of big, bitter grapefruit peel flavor. It's like really bitter. Medium chewy mouthfeel, but the big thing that lets you know that's an old beer, hoppy beer, is like that big tea leaf. Like chewing on tea leaves and grapefruit rinds, along with a bit of pine and maybe like a resin thing, almost like the hop extract resiny flavor you get if you ever try eating hop extract. Not nearly as bad though. I mean, it's not bad. It's still a tasty enough beer. It's got some grassy notes, and the malt are like sweet, slightly caramelly malt, but without being too much actually. I thought the malt would dominate more, but it's more of a big sweet, resiny, hop oily flavor, almost like hop syrup or something like that. I mean, it's like thick hop flavor, if you can say it like that. Oily hop flavor. But fresh, guys. This is an awesome beer, and I love AleSmith. It's one of the more original, old school American breweries that did amazing beers and still do amazing beers. They're great. They're the Speedway series. You can't beat that, and you can get that in tallboy cans in Denmark now too for very good money. Not a high price at all. But yeah, decent stuff. But this will be fun because I think this will be immensely different. The Henry Hazesmith. So let's check out the aroma on Henry Hazesmith. Yeah, immensely different, 10 times fresher, 10 times fresher, or at least 9 months fresher. But it's got a similar grapefruit tone, but it's more juicy than this one. It's more of the sweet citrus fruit juicy, and like just pink grapefruit juice. It's definitely got the West Coast juicy citrus vibe. I think they say that this one also should smell like tropical notes. That's faded. It's mostly the pine and whatnot in the regular beer, but this has the tropical notes that you kind of expect from New England style IPAs. That kind of tropical, sweet tropical fruit, maybe some pineapple. And right there, I got a lot of peach as well, lots of stone fruit. But it's still got the West Coast vibe with kind of like something that reminds you this is going to be a little bit bitter. It's got a bit of that kind of dankness. This has big dankness as well, the original AleSmith IPA. But this is so fun. And yeah, you can smell that they're not the same beer, but this is inspired by that. But it smells really nice. Let's give it a taste, guys. Cheers. That is fucking ace. This is the perfect hybrid of a New England style and a West Coast IPA. Like it's like maybe not specifically San Diego IPA. It's the perfect hybrid version of a AleSmith IPA done in New England. I can totally see that. You get very similar flavors to AleSmith IPA, just much more popping and vibrant and fresh because this can is only 3 weeks old, not 9 months. And it's got more juiciness. Really juicy orange, juicy sweet citrus notes, and also like pink grapefruit juice. I'm just getting tons of that for some reason. It's got that pink grapefruit, as I said, and like pithy, piney note, pithy citrus notes and pine, but it's got more juiciness than some of the more old school West Coast beers. It's got that kind of New England juiciness with juicy oranges and juicy stone fruits, and then it's got a bit more of a tropical vibe as well. This is really fucking good. This is a great, like, I love West Coast IPAs and I love New England IPAs. This is a great marriage between two different beer styles and a cool variation on a very nice classic American IPA, or San Diego / West Coast IPA. But it's fun to smell them side by side because the aromas are just so different. This is more malt cannon and more dankness, but this has more of the juiciness. Wow, I'm really getting a lot of malt on that compared to the first ones. But maybe it's because I am having this that's just so fresh on the side, and then it's just more juicy. Loads of mandarin oranges on it too. And the West Coast bitter grapefruit and all that. It's a great marriage of West Coast and modern East Coast New England style IPAs. So rating-wise, let's get some ratings. So rating-wise, for the AleSmith IPA that's on the ground, in this iteration, I'm probably only going to go like an 85. Let's go 87. It's way too old. No, 85. It's way too old. Too much malt, too much of all that. And that's not my fault. That's, you know, I guess, imports and whatnot. I mean, often when we get these IPAs in Denmark, they're like, first of all, at least 3 months old. I don't know how long this has been sitting on the shelf in the local beer store where I got it, but 9 months is way too old. And it shows. But still a drinkable, decent beer, so that's why it's getting an 85. But Henry Hazesmith, 95. Awesome, awesome stuff. This is a really nice hybrid of styles and a cool take on the original AleSmith IPA. I really wanted to check this out because back in the day, I mean, the AleSmith IPA back in the day was one of my big favorites of all the IPAs from the West Coast. So yeah, this is great stuff. This is really fun to do, this video. It's fun to do these compare contrast, especially because this is like a different version of an original already existing beer. So if you guys had a chance to try either the the Mikkeller San Diego Henry Hazesmith or the AleSmith IPA, definitely let me know what you thought of them. Both are great beers, but this one is a whole lot better when it's not 9 months old and is way too old. But let me know, guys, what is your favorite West Coast IPA? I'd love to hear. I think AleSmith IPA was one of my favorites back in the day. That's great beer. There's a few more. Some of the Stone, like Ruination and stuff like that, was great. And Enjoy by Pizza Ports does some great stuff as well. But one of the beers that really stood out for me back in the day was AleSmith IPA. So if you guys had a chance to try either of these, let me know what you thought of them. As always, remember to comment, subscribe, check out the Facebook fan page and Twitter and Instagram, and give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Sorry for the wind in this video and sorry for the length, but hope you guys manage. And I'm going to say cheers with myself. And see you guys in another beer review.